Hi, welcome to the Toilet Paper Diaries. We are continuing to share with you our secrets, all about the stuff that you didn't know, but we want to tell you all about it on the Toilet Paper Diaries.
Hey, Dave, welcome to episode number 83. And this is a really nice episode again, because we're going to be sharing those secret blueprints that we just shared behind closed doors to our customers, to our clients. And, it was great. I mean, last week we had incredible feedback from everybody that watched the secret episodes.
Absolutely. And I know that when we first broadcast it, we knew that we were playing with gold and lots of diamonds and real blueprints for people. And I think that these have weathered really well. Not only were we ahead of a time by predicting these things were important, but I think they're just as relevant now as people are changing their mindset to move forward as they were when we predicted that these were going to be really good for you. So watch it, take notes, make sure you share it, and we look forward to getting your feedback on this episode of the Toilet Paper Diaries. Do you want to start your own TV show? Well, after today, you'll be able to do so.
Today, we are going to be going into depth into how to create your web TV show. If you are having a virtual event, people are, unless you're a superstar and you're really having a lot of traction online or through advertising, you are going to be having approximately 100 to 200 people, if not less, in your event. However, the power of becoming a broadcaster and having a web TV show, and that's why virtual events and web TV show are connected, it is because every time that we go live in the Toilet Paper Diaries, we are getting about
many? 1,000 people watching the show, and then we do watch parties and we put it on social media. So we end up with about 2,000 to 3,000 to 4,000 people watching every episode. Now that's the same as a major event. And Ernesto and I are doing this every single day that we broadcast. That's not by accident. It's because it's strategically put together. And we've only just begun. The way that this is going to turn out is going to go through the roof. And it's already being watched by people. People are saying about the fact that, how are you guys managing to do it? And we've been working towards this for a very long time. So if you're interested in finding out more about this, stick with this show, because we're going to share with you at the very end the nuts and bolts and the tricks and tools and techniques you're going to need to launch your own show, including 10 types of show that have a niche that nobody's satisfying. So make sure you're with us all the way through. I promise you it'll be rewarding.
Change a little bit the position and how you see things in your mind. First of all, you were thinking, well, television is one thing, webinars is another thing, if live events are another thing. Right now, we are in one single platform. So you have a choice. You can either do one event every 3 to 4 months or whatever it is, and it could be a virtual event or whatever, or you can create a platform where you can broadcast and you can have once or twice a week people watching you constantly, and you become really a virtual world influencer. And I think this is going to be super, super important. So if we're going to move forward with this, I think the most important thing is to start analyzing what's going on in the speaking industry and in the events industry. Yesterday, I was watching part of one recording that Tony Robbins uploaded on some of his social accounts. Let me just show you some pictures here. So I think it's going to actually give you an idea. So there is Tony. This is his setup. Here's another view so that you can see another view. And this is a short segment. It's very, very short.
Most positive emotions. You're going most often to the most positive. You live the most. And then what are the top 2 out of your list most negative emotions?
You've got 4 large LEDs, and each of them is having on it maybe about 50, maybe even 100 people watching on Zoom. So collectively for those screens, and he's got a monitor down in front of him, I think he's got more than 4 actually, he'll have best parts of say 500, 600 people all watching him broadcasting there. And because of that, they're able to raise their hand, they're able to join in, they're able to interact with him kind of the same way that they would be if they were in a live audience. But the atmosphere is different. It's very much a self journey, like going to the cinema versus watching TV. So at the same time, it's cost effective for him because there's nothing else he has to pay for apart from those massive TV screens, which he probably had hanging around anyway. And so that's the top motivational speaker in the world. That's his version of what we're doing right now.
That is correct. So now his setup is a little bit more sophisticated that we are having. However, I mean, we are basically having a very similar landscape over here in our own setup, and we will basically be running the whole thing through you. Now, let's just possibly talk a little bit more about other video platforms, because I think this is quite interesting.
With our virtual event studio, we can turn your live event into a virtual experience with an interactive live audience. Thank you for joining, everyone. Our immersive solution is a combination of a physical LED wall and floor combined with an augmented reality environment that can be fully customized. In this pre-designed set, you can present your keynote or your PowerPoint and show video content. But I'm not alone here today. Besides the virtual live audience, I've invited two very special guests. Sabine Rademacher, Marketing and Communications from NEP, and Jur Steenkamp, the Creative Director of Univate. Hi guys, how are you?
Hi.
Hi, I'm fine.
Is there anything you would like to add?
What I like about this set is that because it's a virtual set, we can create any design for any company or any event that you want.
Yes, and in addition to that, I think it's important that our studio is safely operated from a completely separate room and is ready to host a virtual event within days.
Safety first, very important nowadays. We could also have questions from the audience. Are there any questions?
Hi Niels, Rob here. I have a question. I see some 20 people at the moment, and I was wondering with how many people can we do this simultaneously?
We can host up to 50 people in the live virtual audience, but we can also stream this to YouTube, for example, and we can integrate the chat into this virtual world.
Love it. That's very interesting. It looks like a proper stage show, but as you can see, it's all done with a bit of augmented reality. It's all basically computer graphics that sets it out to look like a proper screen. But the numbers of 50 people aren't huge. That's very intimate in comparison.
Exactly. But then he said, well, we can also integrate with YouTube and Facebook. So this is one of those things that I want you guys to understand. I mean, basically, Zoom is the same thing. I think Zoom is, I do not know if 1,000 people or whatever it is.
1,000 plus if you need it to be.
Exactly. But then, of course, you can also go completely into broadcasting mode. And then go into Facebook and then go into YouTube. And then, of course, you can do a tremendous thing. So one of the things that you need to understand is, once again, events and broadcasting are actually merging together. This is just a very important point to actually learn. So this is one of the platforms that I wanted to show you. But now let's just see what other companies are actually doing. So this is Dutch technology. So this is the German technology. And now we have seen also some of the American technology.
The main element of a virtual event is the main hall. Here, visitors are greeted by a welcome video, get first information, and can interact with other visitors. The design is flexible and can be adapted individually to customer needs and corporate identities. All other event elements can be reached from the main hall. In the virtual auditorium, videos are played live at a predefined time or on demand. Slides can be presented in parallel to the video. Chats can be started after the video or in parallel. Visitors get individual information at virtual booths. The design of these booths can also be individually tailored to customer needs and wishes. Users can communicate personally via chat or email, download documents, and watch videos. In addition to virtual events, Ubivent also offers solutions for online trainings, online workshops and virtual conferences.
The events industry did get very bloated. There's so many elements involved in becoming an event organizer, and so many markups and so many elements of making money, which is great and made lots of different ways of doing it. But what it meant is you had a hit or a miss with every single event. It was either a huge success or it was a nightmare and, oh my goodness, we lost so much money. What this allows you to do, because of a difference in economics, is consider not only bringing all the people to your incredible events, but doing it every month. Now, if you can get people all year round to be part of your tribe, then they won't go anywhere because they just won't have the time to. Like when you subscribed in the good old days to a magazine every month, you wouldn't go looking for more magazines because by the time you finish that one, a new one comes out. So I think it's going to really change the loyalty that people put together when putting together an event like this. It's going to be very interesting to see how this ends up.
I mean, who would have told you, Dave, that 4 months ago we were going to be talking about this? It's just insane.
Well, what makes it so crazy, Ernesto, is considering the fact our own very own business model. And here we go. I'll just show you Speak in Dubai, because we've been training people all around the world to speak internationally, taking them to recently to India, to Dubai, to the US, to Spain, to lots of different places to get their showreels done, their media kits and everything. And nobody expected to have to deal with the problem of no traffic, no travel and no audiences. Now, what this means is everybody who worked with us previously now has a showreel to die for because you can't make them anymore. You can't get an audience into an auditorium and start filming it if you pay them, as we clearly know from experiences over in the US at this moment in time. So what you have to do is get ready to the new experience that's coming along and buy into that, and hopefully get yourself up to speed with enough stuff on video for people to want to hire you. And that's going to be a huge challenge for every entertainer, speaker, author, business owner who wants to tell everybody I'm an industry expert but has no proof apart from their conversation.
This is Dave's avatar. I think the avatar is much better looking than the real life Dave, but anyway.
More interesting than me. That avatar. Now, here's the thing with this particular platform, and we will interview the guys next week with this particular platform. I can create my own character. Now, imagine Tomb Raider being inserted into a conference center. That's pretty much what the experience is here. So you can create your own wardrobe, you can get your skin color, you can do your beard if you've got a beard, or you get your hair. This one's actually got a ponytail like me, and I like to dress in black because it makes me look thinner. Even virtual me looks thinner. And so that's the character that starts off. Then it gets inserted into the virtual world. Now, if you can see this picture here, that's the Dave Crane, the virtual me, inside the system. And that's a view that, the guy in the blue shirt is actually somebody who is showing me around and educating me on how to work the system. Behind you can see the big screen that people are going to be watching. And you can see around this screen, the controls that I will be using. So the arrows on the right-hand side, the talk button, so I can broadcast live or talk to the engineers individually. This is the podium. This is where I'm going to stand. So as you see those two characters before, imagine that this is full of people sitting down. You can see just on the right-hand side, there's two people, one stood at the back and one standing on the stairs. Well, this will be in, I think it's about 3 or 4 days' time. This will be a full auditorium of people waiting to see me speak. And in front of you, you can see those buttons on the laptop, which means that when I press them with my mouse, I can go forward and back, play videos, do everything like I would in a proper presentation. And I physically can move left and right, and I'm part of the game. I'm inserted. So there we are. There's another view. That's from the back of the room. So you can see the podium at the front on the screens, and you can see my back and the gentleman I'm chatting to there, explaining where we're going to be. So I went for a little walk around like you would do in an actual event. I mean, this isn't too dissimilar, apart from the fact it's completely virtual, of what you do when you do a site check and a sound check. And you load up your presentation and you check the microphone to make sure it's working, and you have a look around the room to make sure you know where the audience is going to be and where the quiet spots are and where the energy is going to be. But you have to make sure it's virtual, make sure you anticipate it. So there's a couple of views behind the scenes of what to expect from this incredible video, incredible presentation I'm giving to Dell in about 2 or 3 days' time. We will get a copy of that video and I will share some elements of it. And also I'll be chatting to the gentleman who created that platform. But you've seen there 3 completely different systems. And just like with the battle of the mobile phones, whether you're talking Huawei, you're talking Apple, you're talking Samsung, or any of the other ones, these will all be competing against each other, and we'll have to see which ends up being favorite. Do you prefer to have an avatar where you can interact and chat and do everything, or do you want to be in there and see nothing? It's going to be a very interesting experience, and I'll let you know next week exactly how it went down.
So now you've seen basically which direction we're going, and basically for the foreseeable future. I mean, if we just see it, I was very happy yesterday to hear that the Major League Baseball is actually starting now with baseball in a few days. But of course, they're going to have no audience. So obviously, they don't have a choice on going virtual. Right now, we were looking at the period of about 18 to 24 months before the theater, before the concerts, before big events actually will go back to about 60 to 70% of where they were. Now, that is not taking into consideration the fact that right now, by going virtual, you can actually repeat that event every couple of months instead of every year. There's so many changes which are going to happen there, which we have to start thinking differently.
I think that they've missed the trick with baseball and all the other sports. Right now, they're doing it in an empty stadium, but with the amount of processing power and augmented reality that we could have, you could superimpose an audience, a live audience of the fans who always go to that, onto the camera angle of any angle on a normal game. So you could actually have that. And I know that they're creating a DJ role of pressing different sound effects for when something happens. So when you score, whoa, and when it goes bad, ooh. So you have all these different things. So I think that they might have a sound version that works with people inside the stadium, the sports people taking part in it. But I'd be very surprised if they don't change it so the view from back home, watching it on TV, isn't too dissimilar from what you'd get if it was in post-production. But with the effectiveness of the algorithms now, they can have it happening in real time.
Correct. So now what we have to do is, well, how can we prepare for this? Because, and this is what Dave and I have been already thinking for a while. So the first thing that you need to work on is definitely your marketing. Dave was sharing with me one of the elements that he was working on, which I really think it's phenomenal. And I mean, I love, Dave is an incredibly creative person. And if you actually see where his mind is actually going, it's just really amazing. So this is great that you're actually watching this right now. Have a look at the way that he's actually getting himself now starting to be presented on video. Have a look. Phenomenal. So this is something that I really believe that you have to start getting into. Now, let me just show you a couple of other things which I think you're going to find very interesting. On my speaker website, when we were normally outside of lockdown and nothing of COVID was actually happening, this is how it used to look. We used to create events that were to create the branding from speakers. So as you can see there, you could see me there, saying hello to everybody on the crowd. And we created all these different things. Now, what we have realized is that the world has completely changed. And right now we're positioning ourselves as virtual speakers. So let me show you the difference between one thing and the other completely. So this is before and this is the after picture. So we are already embracing this, and this is something that is very important. If you want to also figure out how we are doing it and how we're working on this, please get in touch with Dave, get in touch with myself, Ernesto.today, or you can go to the Dave Crane and get in touch with us, because of course we are already working this out. We know exactly how this works. If we go now to the profile from Dave, we can also see it. I mean, it's really a complete different story than what he had in the past. We are understanding how important this view from being digital is all about. And that's one of the things that you have to already start doing as much as possible.
Now, it's interesting to see these pictures, Ernesto, because I remember that you and I were brainstorming what is the new image going to be for speakers. And we predicted this about a month before Tony Robbins published that picture of him in front of all these banks. We decided to create something that we could use as a visual image that would show people what a virtual broadcaster of the future would look like. So we're ahead of the curve in that, even before the best speaker in the world, Tony Robbins, got his head around it. So I think that with the stuff that we're sharing right now, it might be a case that things have to catch up, which is why it's so exciting to be at the forefront and the sharp edge of this mindset. So now I think it's a massive opportunity for people to start considering making their own show. So why should you have your own TV show, Ernesto? Why would you recommend having your own TV show?
Well, as we mentioned a little bit earlier, it has a tremendous advantages. First of all, we every time that we come live in the Toilet Paper Diaries, we have already a made-up audience of between 1,000 and 1,500 people, which of course took a little bit of time to grow, but of course it's exponential, so that's great. Second, you can create the content that you need to create your YouTube asset. You can do the whole thing immediately, and that's just the incredible thing. And also what happens is that right now, for example, yesterday I was invited, and they were saying, well, I'm looking for somebody that has a lot of camera experience, and of course it has an experience in broadcasting. I said, well, here's my speaker media kit. They saw the speaker media kit and they contacted me right away, and they said, yes, I would like to talk to you. Apparently it is somebody that has a show in some prime TV. So I do not know what's going to happen, but I already made an impact. Why? Because of course they can see all the body of creation that we have done, and this has done in only about 3 months. So this is definitely something that is very doable. It's something that you don't really have to work if you don't have the crazy personality as possibly Dave and I could have, because there's an audience for everyone. And I think this is exactly the point that Dave is going to be talking about, because he's going to be explaining to you what kind of TV shows you can have. Right?
Absolutely. So there we are. We've established the fact that it's very simple to do, and also there's a number of different types of shows you can put together. So let's have a look. In fact, if we go full screen on this, Ernesto, it's probably easier to go through. So what you need to do is you need to look at a niche, because online, as you've already experienced with Google searching and the internet, you really want to be able to turn around and say, I do something that nobody else does. Why is it that you want to do something like that? Well, because the fact is, if you can declare that you own a niche, it might be that you've only got a couple of thousand people into that niche, but they can't get access to this stuff anywhere else. So they're only going to come to you, and you'll find that you'll have a very loyal tribe of your stuff. So here's 10 different things to look at. First of all, weekly planning. Planning your week. What are you going to do with the week ahead? Different ideas, different things you could share. You could tap into all the existing calendars and scheduling platforms, and you can tell people how to do it all very effectively and very properly. Chirp in at any point, Ernesto, by the way, if you want to add anything to this. Number 2 is how to study. Think about the education world. Think about the amount of parents that are having to do all the homework with their kids. You never had to do all that stuff before. But also, if you're at university and you're working really hard to get your degree, but you're doing it from home, you really need help. So if you are an expert and you know how to help people study, this is a whole show and a whole area that you can position yourself, and you've got a market that's got money and they're all around the world and they want to do stuff to effectively work with you. And next up, we go how to budget. If you're going through a tough time, or even So as I was mentioning there, how to budget, how to make sure that you look after your finances properly. And that's something in its own where people like to know where you get the coupons. People like to know where you're spending your money on. Also how to be more effective. Then you got the Mummies and Daddies show. And that sounds rude, but it's not. A show exclusively for mums, telling mums how to do stuff better, sharing tips, sharing empathy, and explaining how to bring up a family or how to, look after the toddlers and all that kind of stuff. Then you got the other side, which is dads. Dads are notoriously hard to look after because we don't do anything apart from work and just be dads. So we could watch a show all about, being the man of the house that was aimed at us in our language for us to feel better. And that's an area that has been sadly underlooked after in terms of broadcasting. Number 5, raising kids, raising babies. Nobody tells you how to be a parent. The viewers sharing best tips all the time with real life examples. You'd find an audience that just turns to you for help, especially people who don't have access to their in-laws, especially during lockdown. Fitness for the unfit. Now, there's loads of people who do fitness videos, but not so many who do them if you're out of shape and you're starting from scratch. If you're like me, and I mean, I've got a background of being fit before, but right now in lockdown, I like my M&Ms. And instead, what I'd like to do is find somebody from scratch who appreciates the fact that you aren't ready, but you want to do it. Nobody really looks after that properly. You've just got to do all your abby-dabby sit-ups and all the rest of it. No, take it slowly. Somebody doing that would find a big audience. Then you've got life hacks, business hacks from every industry. What would you suggest to people so they could make faster progress, make more money, and also dominate their industry? Then meal planning. Right now, especially if you're in lockdown, but any other time, you tend to buy meals, you tend to order them in. But if you can be told by somebody how to do it without the guilt of having to be super fit while doing it, that's a whole different area, including buying and including cooking. And cooking shows, as you know, are massive. Then we got home activities. That's a huge, wide area, including gardening, including cleaning, including getting stuff out of your cupboards, including putting shelves up, all the things you could do at home, all the things you might want to do by changing your bedroom round or creating a home office. Imagine a show that was all about decor for a home office that you're going to start broadcasting from all around the world. Not a bad idea. And think of possible sponsorships from the likes of IKEA and whoever would want to get their stuff featured on a regular basis. And the last of the niches here is your homeschooling tips. I touched on it earlier of how to study, but this is specific to people who have children at home who want to be better at doing it. And mums and dads don't want to spend their time reinventing how to do mathematics from when they were at school. If you do a show that teaches everybody how to learn at the same time, you've got a guaranteed market, and people would even pay for the subscription because it's cheaper than school fees. So there's 10 ideas. What do you think, Ernesto?
I love it, and I want to recommend you, if you want to get some information, or if you want to work with us, or you want us to help you in putting together your show, please get in touch either with me or with Dave in ernesto.today or in the davecrane.com. So let's just get started with our first section, which is going to be the question that everybody asks themselves. Well, I have already put 20 videos on my YouTube channel and it hasn't exploded. I haven't gone viral. YouTube doesn't love me. Well, that's not really how it works. We have to understand that YouTube has a way to prepare you to be a broadcaster. And I think this video is going to show you exactly what you need to do to start growing your viewership and to start growing your channel. Now, it's going to be somehow discouraging for you, but don't worry about it, because we will tell you exactly how you can grow your channel as fast as possible. So have a look.
Okay, on my channel and other channels like mine, you constantly hear us talking about the importance of uploading a lot of content to YouTube.
I know. You guys talk about that stuff all the time. Jeez, I've uploaded like 10 videos so far. I should have blown up by now. I think YouTube hates me.
There are a lot of reasons that we tell you to upload more videos. For example, the more you upload, as long as you're paying attention to what it is that you're doing, the better you're going to get at making videos that people enjoy. By uploading more, you're going to be stacking your skills up all of the time. And the more you stack your skills up, or the better that you get, not only are you going to be more effective, but it's also going to be easier for you to make content that people respond to.
That doesn't make any sense. They should enjoy it because I spend a lot of time on it and because I'm passionate about it.
Sorry, Slacker Nick, it just doesn't work that way. It's not about you, it's about the viewers. Another reason we tell you that is because it can take a lot of videos to reach the massive milestones that we're all trying to hit. And that's because as you get better at making more content that people like, then the amount of content that you have on your channel that's constantly bringing people in is increasing, which then creates that snowball effect everybody talks about. So I'm going to break all of that down for you right here in just a second so you know how many videos that you need to make to reach the milestones that you're after. But before I do, I want to add this disclaimer and let you know that the information I'm getting ready to share is averages. It's not saying that if you do exactly this many videos, then you're going to get exactly this result, because again, it comes down to how people respond to your content. Some people get the results faster because they can get their skills together faster. Some people, it takes them a lot more videos in order to reach the same results because it takes them longer to develop those skills. I also want to let you know that this information was not figured out by me. It was shared by Phil from TubeBuddy in Brian G. Johnson's Tube Ritual Facebook group. This information was pulled from a database of over 3.5 million channels, so it's legit. So let's start with 1 million subscribers. How many videos does it take to get you to 1 million subscribers? According to this information, the average channel that has 1 million subscribers has 3,873 videos. So think about that for a second. Like if you're just getting started and you're like, hey, why haven't I blown up yet? Just put that in perspective. The average channel with 100,000 subscribers to 1 million subscribers, 1,171 uploads to their YouTube channel. Makes you feel kind of like, hey, I need to get to work, doesn't it?
No, I actually don't want to get back to work. I'm having a Twitter fight.
I know you don't want to get to work. I'm talking to them, people who are actually productive and do stuff. The average channel with 10,000 to 100,000 subscribers has 418 uploads. And for everybody watching this who is just getting started and you're like, hey, I'm just trying to get that first 1,000. What do I got to do to get that first 1,000? How many videos do I got to make? The average channel between 1,000 and 10,000 subscribers has 152 uploads. So if you've got 20 videos on your channel and you're thinking to yourself like, hey, why isn't this working out yet? Averaged across YouTube, it's just because the numbers haven't worked out in your favor yet. Hang in there. The more you learn, the more you practice, the better you're going to get and the better you're going to do.
That was some revelation about the amount of content you're going to create. That was brilliant. So it just goes to show, if you're just starting out and you just make content, you've really got to start churning it out to make it relevant. And that's not even looking at the stuff that you're an expert in, which is the SEO and the titles and the duration and the subject matter. These are all elements. But I mean, what you said last week was phenomenal about the fact that if you're used to doing stuff on LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook or any kind of social media, it's only got a certain shelf life before it goes off the rotation, and then your content is burned, it's gone. On YouTube, it can stay there forever and get exponential growth like savings. So it's worthwhile thinking about that.
Yeah, let this be a lesson for you. If you're a speaker, you have to start making YouTube your number one source instead of actually just thinking, well, you know, this is social media. No, it is an asset. And let me explain to you why it is such an asset. Because what happens is if you do in a post here or there or whatever, that's going to be ephemeral. That's going to disappear. However, if you put a video on YouTube, you SEO it correctly, and you do all the things which we're going to be telling you to do, you are going to start creating an asset which is going to be able to be shown in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years from now. And that's a big difference. Now, as you see, this is the amount of content which is required for you to be able to get those different milestones. There's 4 different milestones that you're required to get on YouTube. First of all, is 100 subscribers. 100 subscribers, you need them because that way you will be able to have your unique URL. Then you will need 1,000 subscribers so that they will invite you to become a possible, because of course it just stays in the possible content partner. And then you need 4,000 hours of viewership. So that's why you need to actually keep on creating content. If you have 10 videos on your channel, if you have 15 videos of your channel, it's not really going to work. Now you know the amount of videos that you should have on your channel, and all these videos need to be public. Because, for example, in our channel, we have close to 800 videos, but 400 of them are not public. These videos need to be public. And here's the biggest secret that we're going to be sharing right now because of this. Well, as you can see, every episode of the Toilet Paper Diaries is actually chopped up in several little videos so that we can have content which is very varied, which is of course in relevance, which is of course in into the what we are doing, and especially the fast forward show. As you can see, we keep on repeating, please subscribe, please make sure that you go and that ring the bell. Why? Because every time it becomes one video. So in about 4 or 5 hours a week, we create 15 to 20 videos, Dave and myself. And this is what you need to take into consideration. So it's not only that we have a ton of viewership when we are going live, but the incredible power is that we can actually create amazing content that is going to be watched in years to come, in years to come, in years to come. And that's what I think is just an incredible thing. Now, here goes another super secret that you need to create. And this is something that I just learned, and that every single YouTuber is using already this. But I have not seen anybody, even the big internet gurus, talking about this. Why? Because right now we are using reverse mentoring and we are learning from the kids. And please watch this video, because this video has the clue on how to grow your subscribers. And that is to have a subscriber button on every single one of your videos. And this is exactly how it is done. Have a look. The second really cool thing that I want to show you, after you know already how to create your end screens, what I want to show you is how you can actually get yourself a subscribe button on every single one of your videos. So what you're going to do is the following. One of the things that I would love if you can do that is if you go to youtube.com/speakindubai, so that you can see how we can have it, how we have it. And please, if you can subscribe, that will be very useful. Again, that's to support us. So the first thing that you're gonna do when you log in into your own channel, you're gonna see here where it says customize channel and then YouTube Studio. So you click here where it says YouTube Studio, and it's gonna take you to this page, which has all sorts of information. That's just completely irrelevant. Then you're gonna click for settings. You're gonna go here on settings, and you're gonna go where it says channel. Where it says channel, you're gonna see all sorts of different things, and then you're gonna go here where it says branding. And where it says here branding, you are going to find a possibility of putting a subscribe button here. So all you need to do, which is super simple, is you go into Google, and you're gonna put subscribe, and then you're gonna put 150 times 150, because then that's going to be the exact measurement that you wanted. You're going to click here on images, you're going to click here on images, and you're going to find one that you like. I think it's better if you have something like this, a square or one with a transparent background. You're going to save the file, and then you are going to go over here to your YouTube channel, and you are going to upload it. And then there's another little quick trick that you need to do. It says here display time, when should it be displaying, at the end of the video, at the entire video, or custom start time. And according to YouTube, the ones that they are actually looking for are the ones which are in custom start time after 5 minutes. So that's after 5 seconds, sorry. And that means that after 5 seconds, you will be able to have it will be showing on every single one of your videos. And then all you need to do is save, and then close, and then your channel will have the subscribe button everywhere. This is something that you have to do right away, so don't wait any longer. Now you know how to do it, go do it.
Fascinating. Love that. That's really useful, because for many years I've been watching people do this stuff, and you wonder who did that, and now you know exactly how to do it. So another impressive tip.
One of the things that I also want you to learn is how to create a end screen. The end screen, it's also going to be very important. Right now, you're actually learning a lot of very important stuff from YouTube, And this is also something that Dave and I created yesterday, which is super, super interesting. And this is actually what feeds the more subscribers. So let's just have a look.
Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you watch all the videos over here. There's 2 choices for you. Or, of course, I'm Dave Crane coming from Dubai.
And this is Ernesto Verdugo coming from Houston.
And I think we should send a message. Hold on.
What is this?
Subscribe. Make sure you do. Otherwise, you're going to miss out on all the brand new shows, all the tips, tricks, tools, and techniques, and you'll get none of them. And what's even worse is we'll have to get proper jobs. So make sure you subscribe, and we'd love to see you on the shows or the Toilet Paper Diaries. You can put it down now, Ernesto. Put it down. Just put it down and smile. Say goodbye. It does look a little bit like there's something wrong with us, but it's a very cool video just to have playing at the end of every video. So it gets people inspired to press the button and see some more tomfoolery.
So this is the magic of it, because of course that we were used to basically ending up the video with our logo, and we were very happy about it. And then we started watching what the people in the well, not only the YouTubers, but also what Stephen Colbert and everybody was doing. If you see any of the videos from any of the late night hosts, they have also a funny video with all sorts of tomfoolery and all sorts of silliness, basically saying watch the other videos, because of course they want you want to get all your viewers into binge watching mode. And that's the super secret that also I wanted to share with you. And once again, I'm going to repeat, if you like the content, make sure to subscribe and also activate the notification button. So what do you think of that, Dave? I love watching how we looked in those days, completely different than right now, huh?
I look so young and so innocent. If I look at what my office looks like now, my studio. In fact, I've got a proper studio. In those days, I didn't. I just kind of got a webcam, put it in front of my laptop, and thought I'd won the lottery. It's amazing how digital stagecraft has evolved since those days, and that's why we enjoy doing the show so much. It's almost like showing photos of you when you're a kid at school, and you go, I can't believe we wore those clothes. That was only a couple of months ago, but I still can't believe we wore those clothes.
I agree, and I think one of the things which is very important, which is also part of these blueprints that we have been sharing with you, is that all you need to do is get started. I mean, if you get started and you start doing this stuff, it doesn't matter if it is not perfect, because we started and we can see it right now. We were not doing it perfectly. However, we improved as we went along, and right now we have done 83 episodes. That makes me feel really proud.
Absolutely. The key to doing it is to wash, rinse, and repeat. Keep doing that at every single stage. And the most important thing is just to get involved in the game, and you'll see incredible results. We've passed the time for sitting and watching. Now's the time to get you to really create your own success. And we're going to share more blueprints for you to be able to do that in the future at the Toilet Paper Diaries.
See you guys. Make
Bye-bye.
sure to watch us next week.